ratings, she's directly responsible. And people were resenting her for it, like she was the cause of the problems that they had for the lack of recognition. No, she just happened to be born white. That's it. Caitlin Clark hasn't spoken against anybody. She hasn't assisted in denying anybody else the privileges they deserve. If anything, she's tried to provide assistance. A rising tide lifts all boats. She's trying to be the rising tide that lifts the boats.
Stephen A. Smith didn't whisper or hint at it. He said it loud on national television. Caitlin Clark has changed the entire game. The moment those words landed, the room went silent. Eyes shifted, the desk froze, and Molly was caught off guard, unable to respond. This wasn't just another sports debate or a routine hot take segment. It was Stephen A. Smith drawing a clear line in real time. Behind the scenes, Nike numbers were already circulating. Executives were watching closely, and media rooms were buzzing. Then came the confirmation. Stephen A. leaned forward, locked eyes with Molly, and said out loud what many were afraid to admit. That was the moment everything changed.
No, Molly, you did not say that, Molly. No, no,
that is what you said.
You did not. That's not what you said, Molly.
What are you guys
that is not what you said.
I literally just brought it up.
You were talking about. You were talking about us. You were talking about folks making the point that, excuse me, at the time that they had picked the Olympic team, Caitlin Clark didn't necessarily deserve it based on her play on the court. When the point that Shannon and I was making at the time was that, wait a minute. In the end, there are people that have ended up on Team US.
Caitlin Clark's new Nike deal didn't just perform well, it blew past expectations. At first, sources inside sports marketing talked about it quietly, almost in disbelief. As sales jumped, online traffic spiked, and merchandise moved faster than projected. This wasn't hype or fake buzz. It was real money driven by real demand. Nike didn't choose Caitlin Clark by accident. They chose her because when her name is attached, people show up.
You're not listening, Molly. You're not listening. I'm talking about your point, Molly. Your point.
And I'm explaining it to you.
At the end of the day, we were making the point. Do you want to promote the league or not? And people like Andrea and others were resistant to that playing a role in somebody making the roster for Team USA. And we were saying, hell with that. You want to promote the sport. You put that girl up in there, and people were appalled at that notion.
But
that was
Stephen
the
A,
subject.
But Stephen A, this is just going to come from different perspectives because you all's initial point was a marketing point, and that was what I was arguing with. That was what I was arguing with.
Right.
The marketing point for Caitlin. What Molly is trying to say, and what I agree with, is now that we have seen how Caitlin finished this season, there is a good basketball argument for her being on the team.
This wasn't politics. It was business. And that's where the temperature changed. Molly questioned the impact, the scale, and whether Caitlin Clark was being overpushed. Stephen A. responded calmly but sharply, not yelling or screaming, but explaining it slowly, the way you lay out facts to someone who doesn't want to hear them. That was when the room shifted. He made it clear that you can debate style and preferences, but you cannot debate results. Ticket demand, TV ratings, Nike sales, and social media engagement speak for themselves. Caitlin Clark wasn't just playing basketball. She was moving the culture, and that made people uncomfortable. The truth nobody wants to say out loud is that when one player becomes bigger than the system pushes back. Not openly or directly, but subtly through side comments and dismissive takes. Stephen A. saw it and called it out, and that's why the tone changed. While debates played out on TV, Caitlin Clark kept doing the one thing that silences everyone, producing.
Be resentful of the folks, primarily the white folks, who basically disenfranchised y'all all of these years before she came along, who denied you the acclaim and the allure and the profits you richly deserved. But you don't take that out on Caitlin Clark. Not her. She's the one that assists you. When black folks was marching during the civil rights era and fighting every battle they possibly could, they weren't dismissive, nor did they insist in denigrating the white people who marched with them. They saved the venom for those who wouldn't.
Deep shots, pressure moments. Crowds reacted before the ball even left her hands. You could feel it. Opponents knew it. Fans knew it. And sponsors definitely knew it. This wasn't manufactured. It was undeniable. Stephen A. made one final point that ended the argument. Brands don't invest millions based on feelings. They invest based on impact. Nike didn't guess. They tracked, measured, and committed. That's why Caitlin Clark's deal landed differently. It wasn't just big. It was inevitable. This wasn't about Molly or one TV segment. It was about confirmation. Caitlin Clark is no longer up next or just promising. She's here. And once that happens, the conversation changes. Some celebrate, some resist, but the game keeps moving forward.
And I'm incredibly proud to join some of the best athletes in the world. I'm excited to share a first look at what we've created together. Y'all should have did this. We're going into year 3. Y'all should have did this year 1. Year 1. Let's take a look at the ad.
Hey, Caitlin! Can you make it from there?
She shot it from the other house.
Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
Come on, guys.
Yeah, she can't make it from there. No chance.
Caitlin, from me, don't let. You got it.
Oh, they got Mama Bluter in here. Yeah, this is fire. Y'all got Travis Kelce.
Stephen A. ended it with body language, not words. He leaned back, stopped debating, and stopped explaining because there was nothing left to prove. The deal was done and the moment had passed. Caitlin Clark didn't say a word, and she didn't need to. This wasn't hype or favoritism. It was recognition. She didn't ask for the spotlight. She earned it. Now the world is adjusting, some faster than others.